In our weekly Ask the Manufacturer segment, where we learn how the RV industry works so we can all have a better ownership experience with our RVs, we cover all kinds of topics. On our guest line today is Mr. Andre Fisher, who works in the Rockwood Flagstaff manufacturing plant up in Indiana. So, Andre, there are a lot of people that are hearing us talking right now that are looking at their first RV. I know how exciting it can be, but getting things in order and knowing your limitations first, I think, isn't that the place to start?
Absolutely. Can you tow it, and can you tow it safely with your vehicle? It's first and foremost.
Talk with me about that. How do I figure that out? Because I see so many people that they're excited, and rightfully so. They want to go buy this RV and get going. But that's like getting the cart before the horse.
Yeah, so you can get with your manufacturer, and I'm not an expert on towing capacities, like for Ford, Chevy, whatever, or Subaru, whatever brand of car you have. Get with your manufacturer, your dealership, and get what they call a towing capacity, okay? There's a lot of crazy words like GVWR, GAWR,
GVWC, yeah, all kinds of acronyms, man, lots of them.
There is. So, just to wade through that a little bit, do a little research on your own, also talk to your dealership. And if your car or your truck, for example, my Dodge Ram EcoDiesel pulls X amount of pounds, and that I know that when units come off the line here at our manufacturing facility, we give you the UVW, the unloaded vehicle weight. So what that is that's all the weight that is right on the camper at that very moment. That does not include a battery. That does not include LP in the tank. So just to add a few pounds there. But if your towing capacity for your vehicle is 5,000 pounds and you're at 3,000 pounds, and you have to add a little bit of fluff for your clothes. Maybe you have, obviously you're camping, so you're going to take some things with you, like a small grill. All those things that you put in the camper adds that weight, and you just got to make sure you're underneath that towing capacity of whatever vehicle you might own. And I always encourage at dealerships and ask about a weight distribution hitch. Does it fit on my vehicle? How about sway bars? How about this? How about that? Because the last thing I want somebody to do is get in their camper and they white knuckle it all the way to the campground or to the boondock or wherever they're headed. That's not fun. That's not.
And it's not safe. I read a story not long ago that there's an estimated. Now these were people that went to a truck stop, certified scales with their travel trailer, their motorhome, fifth wheel, and they went and got on the scales. 60% of the ones that went to weigh themselves were overweight. And
really?
and those are people that, you don't go in and thinking you're overweight. You take out all the stuff you really don't need to make sure you're okay. 60% are overweight. And I'm like, oh, my God. That's got to be, how unsafe is that? How dangerous is that for people to be driving, not realizing they're putting their life and the life of their family at risk when they're overweight? The handling, the braking, the everything, really – first things first are super important, knowing what you can tow.
Absolutely. And I had never heard that statistic before, and that's kind of shocking to me. I think when I talk to customers, they do a really good job about being concerned with weights and, coming down a big hill or something like that with your vehicle loaded, and am I going to be able to stop in an appropriate amount of time?
Yeah. I also suggest if you're thinking about buying an RV, look at your tow vehicle. If you don't want to buy another one, go to some popular campgrounds over the weekend. Just take a tour and drive around. Find somebody that's got your truck. Find somebody that's got your tow vehicle and look at what they're towing and talk to them. People in campgrounds are friendly and they're helpful, and they'll tell you, man, I should have gotten a smaller camper, or I should have gotten a bigger truck, or talk to other people before you just go and sign on the bottom line, and then that way you don't get the cart before the horse. So I just think
knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power, but it takes time, and you have to be smart enough to know that you don't know everything. I'm learning stuff all the time, and I've owned a campground for 6 years, and it's like every day I learn, whoa, I didn't know that. And
I learn something new every day too, and I've been in this business for 8 years now. So,
knowing your limitations. What was it? The Dirty Harry movie. A man's got to know his limitations. I think knowing your limitations is so important. Otherwise, you can just get yourself not only into a safety issue with your family, but a financial one as well. Because I hear many people that go in And a salesperson who is not super knowledgeable may sell someone a travel trailer, a fifth wheel, that's overweight, way overweight for the person that can tow it. And now they got to go buy a $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 truck on top of it.
Yeah. You want to make sure you're doing your homework and your research on A, what the trailer's going to be, and B, what your truck or your tow vehicle is going to be. And take the onus on yourself. And there's a lot of great salesmen, a lot of great dealerships that know that a lot more information than I do about that. And I'm sure they don't do it purposely, or hopefully they don't. But they deal with it every single day, and so does that's where your service manager comes in too. Candidly ask them, what do you think about this? And I always talk to people like I would talk to my mother, because I want my mother to be safe. And if I would put my mother in that package, I would put anybody in that package. So a lot of times I get calls every day. Do you think I can tow with this? Well, to be honest with you, I don't want you out on the roads. I don't want you unsafe. That's my number one goal. It should be everybody's number one goal when they're out on the roads. Safe. So, just do your research and talk to a lot of people, and the campgrounds are a great way because it's unsolicited, and they all have opinions because they've been there.
That's right, and they have no incentive. They're not trying to make a commission by selling you something. They're just going to probably most of the time tell you the truth. And you said something in our last conversation that I thought was so meaningful and so helpful, is that before you buy an RV, even if you've owned several of them, when you find that dealer, the good dealer, you need to go and meet the service manager, the guys back in the back that eventually you're going to need to know before you take possession of your RV. Get a good feel for them. Let them know who you are, because if you have that need to contact somebody, now you're not calling a complete stranger.
That's right. And, your salesman is so important to get you in the right unit, but after that, it's the service manager. So for years after that, your relationship with them is paramount. It's not your salesman anymore.
Yep.
They want to get you in the right unit and make you happy, but that service manager is going to get you on a Saturday, hey, go check the box in the back, you need to hit the button, or whatever may happen, that can really put you in a really good place experience with your camping.
I tell people a box of donuts and a smile on a to the service manager is something they will not forget. It's cheap insurance, and it will get you to the front of the line sometimes when nobody else can move. So anyway, going back to you were talking about the GVWR and the GVWC and those are acronyms that are very boring, folks. They are, but they're there for a reason. The sticker on your truck, your tow vehicle, the sticker on your RV, they're there for a reason, and it's really important that you don't overlook that, just minimalize that you take it into consideration when you're making your buying decision, no matter what brand of RV you buy. I'm not trying to hijack the conversation here, Andre. I just want people to make the right decision.
Absolutely. I mean, we steer people down the right path. Money doesn't matter here. We steer people to the path that they're going to have the best time and the safest time, and that's it. And that's what we do really, really well here in Millersburg. And I think there's other brands out there that do that also, but check that towing capacity. And if you hear GAWR, if you hear GCWR, look it up, ask questions. You're not foolish. You don't know what you don't know, like you said in the last segment. And to get that information is so important. And if you're under that towing capacity and you feel comfortable doing it, and go out and have a great time and just be safe about it. That's you didn't hijack anything. It's so important for people to know all the information and just ask a lot of questions.
And many RVs that may look similar to the untrained eye, even to the trained eye, that kind of side by side, they look pretty much the same. When you look at what they can carry, you'll find they're not always the same. They don't always allow so many, 1,500 pounds of gear that you can throw in there. Some of them only allow literally 500 pounds after you have your tanks filled
Absolutely.
up. So you gotta know what you gotta know. Anyway, listen, this is really basic information, but I think most RVers could use a little refresher course when talking about weights and carrying capacity. So we got to leave it right there, but we'll catch you next time, all right?
Thank you, sir.
All right, good deal. This is great stuff and very, very important to know, folks, and understand before you choose which RV to buy. You can catch our entire Ask the Manufacturer series on our YouTube channel. Just click on the playlist. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman, back after this.